Welcome back to the lecture videos on electronic devices and circuits. In this video, we are going to see Unit 4, Transistor Biasing. And we have already seen the BJT in Unit 3 and working of BJT, what are the applications of BJT we have seen. And in this unit, we will be seeing what are the minimum requirements to make one BJT to work as an amplifier. And again, that amplifier should be amplifying the signal properly to obtain faithful amplification. So this is our syllabus. So we will be seeing some introduction to amplifier, need for biasing, DC load line, AC load line, operating point, thermal runaway, thermal stability, stabilization against variations in IC0, VBE and stability factor, then types of stabilization, stabilization techniques, and finally compensation techniques. This unit is very interesting because now you are having the basics of BJT and how to make BJT to work in active region or saturation region or cutoff region. Okay, and here we are giving further details how you will be getting a faithful amplification. Okay, faithful amplification means what? For example, if this is your amplifier, let me assume it is a common emitter amplifier and your signal is like this. Okay, I assume it is a weak signal. So amplifier should strengthen the signal, right? So I have to get output and that should be a strengthened version or amplified version of the input, provided it is not having any change in the shape. Okay, if the shape is getting changed, for example, instead of this one, if I am getting another output like this, so it is not a faithful amplification. Okay, faithful amplification means what? Faithful amplification is when your amplifier is strengthening the weak signal without disturbing or without changing the shape of the signal. We can call it as what? Faithful amplification. Instead of that, if this kind of a signal I am getting, it is and the shape is not matching, right? This is your sinusoidal signal you are giving, you are getting something else. So it is not under faithful amplification. So in order to get faithful amplification, we have to follow some conditions. Okay, we have to follow some techniques. So such kind of things we will be seeing in this unit. Okay, so what is this faithful amplification? So what is this faithful amplification? The process of raising the strength of a weak signal without any change in its general shape is known as what? Faithful amplification, that I have shown in the previous slide. Okay, so without changing the shape of a signal, we have to obtain the strengthened signal. Okay, or otherwise a weak signal should be converted to a strong signal without affecting the shape of the signal or maintaining the shape of the signal. So such kind of amplification is known as faithful amplification. Okay, and I told you we have to follow some condition to obtain this faithful amplification. So there are some key methods to achieve this faithful amplification. So the input circuit, that means the base emitter junction remains forward biased, and the output circuit, that means collector base junction remains reverse biased. You know, this is the condition to get what? The transistor to work in active region. Okay, so emitter to base should be in forward bias and the collector to base should be in reverse bias. So that is the first factor we have to see to obtain the faithful amplification. And in order to obtain this particular factor, we have to ensure that the transistor works over the active region. And you know that we are having in the output characteristics, we are having saturation region, active region and cutoff region. To work as an amplifier, we have to make sure that the transistor is working in active region. So that can be assured by following this factor, by making your input side circuit, that means emitter to base junction forward bias and the collector to base junction reverse bias. And now let us see what are the conditions for this faithful amplification. First one is proper zero signal collector current. What do you mean by this zero signal collector current? Signal is what? When I want to amplify a signal, I will give some input. Now that is your signal. So first we have to see that zero signal collector current. That means without giving any kind of signal or without giving any input, only because of the biasing. That means only because of the DC power what we are providing for biasing and because of the presence of resistance, how much collector current is generated. That is we have to make sure that we are achieving the proper zero signal collector current. Okay, try to remember this at that time, or in order to see this zero signal collector current, we are not applying any kind of signal to the transistor. Okay, or without giving input, how much collector current is there, that is your zero signal collector current. And then minimum proper base emitter voltage, and this example I am considering common emitter transistor. Okay, so the base to emitter voltage should be what? It should be properly given to make sure that it is in forward bias condition. And similarly, again, minimum proper collector emitter voltage should be given in the output side. So these are some basic conditions we have to satisfy to obtain this faithful amplification. Yeah, here we will see some more details regarding the zero signal collector current. Okay, so in this one we can see that the input signal what we provide is a sinusoidal signal, right? But output, you are not getting the negative half cycle, right? You are not getting the negative half cycle, you are getting only what? The positive half cycles. You know the reason for that? Or shall I call it as a faithful amplification? No, right? It is not a faithful amplification. Faithful amplification is what? If I am giving an input signal like this, the output I should get an amplified signal without changing the shape. But in this case, what happened? The shape is changed. That means the negative half cycle, you are not getting any signal there. Okay, why it is happening? It is happening because you didn't give any kind of biasing between this base and emitter, right? We didn't provide any kind of DC biasing or DC voltage there. So because of that reason, what will happen? Whenever that positive half cycle is coming, okay, whenever positive half cycle is coming, it will overcome the barrier voltage VBE, and you will get what? Positive half cycles. Okay, but when the reverse half cycle is coming, there is no biasing for that, and the base emitter is not in forward bias. Because of that reason, no signal will be transferred to the output side. So that's why you are not getting any negative signal here. So I can say that this is what? Unfaithful amplification, because the shape is getting changed for this case. So in this case, what we can see is, by providing VBB voltage, okay, this base and emitter is getting the required forward bias. Okay, similarly, this collector and emitter is also getting proper power supply from this VCC. Because of that reason, you can see that this is my input signal and output is an amplified signal, okay, without changing any shape. There is no shape change. And another important thing what we can see is, this output is not with reference to your zero, right? It is with reference to what? IC. This is your IC actually. So this capital letter I suffix C is showing your zero signal collector current. The previous slide I told you, right? Without giving any kind of input signal, what is the collector current? That collector current is what? Zero signal collector current, IC. So without giving signal itself, we are having what? IC signal is there, or IC current is there. So that's why that is a DC current, because at that time only DC biasing is there. So that DC IC current only marked here, and your signal will be amplified with respect to this DC current, IC current, or the zero signal IC current. Yeah, then we can see what is this transistor biasing. So what do you mean by biasing? You have learned about biasing in first unit, like forward biasing, reverse biasing, and for BJT we are having what? Different kinds of biasing you have seen in your third unit, right? So here we are defining actually really what is this biasing, and then we have to see what is the need of these kinds of biasing. Okay, so biasing, simply I can say, biasing is a process of providing proper DC supplies and resistances to make sure that your transistor is working in the active region. The process of giving proper supply voltages and resistances for obtaining the desired Q point. Anyway, Q point, why we need the Q point? We need the desired Q point to make sure that your transistor is working in the active region. If the Q point is moving to either saturation or it is moving towards the side of cutoff, you won't get faithful amplification. Okay, so we have to make sure that we are having a proper Q point or the desired Q point, and if the Q point is the desired Q point and it is in the active region, so anyway faithful amplification will happen. Otherwise, either it is moving towards the saturation region or cutoff region, the faithful amplification won't happen, the signal will get distorted. Okay, so in one way we can define your biasing like this. And when the transistor is used as an amplifier, establishment of operating point in the active region is necessary, and it is achieved by biasing. Okay, the same whatever things we have said here in different way we have mentioned here, because we have to make sure that the Q point is in active region. In order to make the Q point in active region, we need what? Biasing. Then what is biasing? Biasing is the process of providing the power supplies or DC power supplies and selecting the appropriate resistances to obtain the desired Q point. Then here comes the need for biasing. Why we need this biasing? Again, the same reason. If we are not getting the desired Q point, faithful amplification won't happen. If the faithful amplification is not happening, then there is no use of that amplifier, because you are giving a signal but output you are getting with some distortion. Okay, so without distortion we need the amplified output signal. So we need what? Faithful amplification. If you need faithful amplification, you need what? The Q point at the active region, or I can say that middle of the DC load line we need the Q point. So in order to get the proper Q point, you have to choose the appropriate DC power supply values and the resistances to get that Q point in the active region. So the same reason. So that is the need of this biasing. To operate the transistor in the active region, the supply voltage and resistances should establish a set of DC voltages and DC currents to produce distortion-free output in the amplifier circuits, which determine the correct operating or correct operation or operating point or Q point for the transistor. So now we will see what will happen if the Q point is not the desired one, or if the Q point is not at the middle of the load line. So in the first example, you can see that the Q point is somewhat nearer to the saturation region, right? So this is the saturation region, here the cutoff, and this is your active region. So the first case, the Q point is somewhat nearer to the saturation region. So because of that, what is happening? This is your input signal, right? But we can see that some portion of the input signal is getting clipped. Okay, in the output side, some portion is not available. Okay, why it is happening? Because the Q point is not a desired one. It is what? It is just very nearer to your saturation region. Because of that, some portion of the signal is not in the active region, and that particular portion is getting clipped. Okay, so one problem we have seen. And again, similar problem will come for the reverse condition. That means the Q point is nearer to the cutoff. In this case, the Q point is what? Nearer to the cutoff region. Same problem. This is your input signal, and you can see that after this, the signal is not in the active region. It is in where? It is in the cutoff region. And because of that, this portion will be cut off or clipped. Okay, so both cases you are not getting what? You are not getting faithful amplification. Either the Q point is somewhat nearer to the saturation, or the Q point is nearer to the cutoff region. In any way, for both cases, you are not getting the faithful amplification, because your output signal is not having the same shape of the input signal in both cases. And third case also there, at that time, this Q point is at the middle only, but what happened? The signal is a very big signal. The signal is having more amplitude. So in this case, what is happening is both sides. That means in the upper half cycle and in the lower half cycle, these two portions are not in the active region. The upper half cycle is in the saturation region. Lower half cycle, the some portion is in the cutoff, and these two portions will be clipped off. Okay, so you are not getting that in your output. Your output signal is something like this, and which is not a faithful amplification. So from this three representation, you can understand the importance of Q point. If the Q point is changing, varying either to saturation side or to the cutoff region or sometimes you have found the Q point, you made the Q point to the middle of the load line, but what happened? It is not the desired one. Why? Because your signal is having more amplitude or big amplitude, okay, which is not in the limit of the active region what you designed. Okay, so these are the some situations which shows the importance of Q point. Yeah, and now let us see some important definitions what we are going to handle in this unit 4 related to the biasing and compensation. And first one is DC load line, and then AC load line, and then what is this Q point. So many times I told you this Q point, right? So we will see a proper definition for that. So let's start with this DC load line. So it is a line which is drawn on the, and this example I am taking common emitter amplifier. So that's why I have mentioned there common emitter. Okay. So a line which is drawn on the common emitter output characteristics under zero signal condition is known as DC load line. And I hope you know what is the meaning of zero signal condition. Zero signal condition is what? Without giving any external input signal, only because of the biasing, you are getting this DC load line. And when you are giving your input signal, your AC signal, and getting the load line, that is what? That is your AC load line. It is a line which is drawn on the common emitter output characteristics when AC signal applied is known as AC load line. And you know that these two load lines will intersect at a point, and that point is what? Q point. So this Q point is the acronym for the quiescent point. Okay, similarly we will call it as what? Q point. And this Q point is the operating point of the transistor at which it is biased. By providing proper biasing only, we are fixing the Q point. And ideally we will say like our Q point should be in the middle of DC load line or AC load line. Okay, and when this condition is achieved, you will be getting what? Faithful amplification. And the coordinates for this Q point is given there, ICQ and VCEQ. So when you are drawing the characteristics, if this is your load line, and I am taking the Q point in the middle of load line, this is collector current, this is your VC voltage, output voltage. The Q point will be having the coordinates like this will be your VCEQ, and this is the ICQ. Okay, so by providing proper biasing, we have to get proper values for VCEQ and ICQ to make sure that the Q point is in the middle of the load line. Okay, which shows the relevance of Q point here. And again, I told you the intersection of DC and AC load line is also known as what? Q point. And here comes stabilization. As already we have seen the importance of biasing, right? Why we need biasing? Biasing is required to get proper Q point, and this Q point should be in the middle of active region to have faithful amplification. All those things we have seen. But even though you have made the desired Q point, because of some other reasons, the Q point may vary. So what I am trying to say is, already because of biasing, by properly giving the voltages, by properly obtaining this ICQ and VCEQ value, you got the Q point. Okay, the Q point, you got the desired Q point, and you are having some faithful amplification. But because of some other reasons, again this Q point is varying, then what will happen? Again, you won't be having this faithful amplification, right? Distortions will come to the output signal. So we have to make sure that once the Q point is achieved, we have to make sure that it is in the same point only. It is not changing because of any changes or any kind of temperature changes especially. Okay. So the process of making operating point independent of temperature changes or variation in transistor parameter is known as stabilization. So we have to see about stabilization. What is stabilization? Already Q point is achieved, right? But then we have to make sure that that achieved or desired Q point is not changing or varying because of temperature variations or variation in transistor parameters. Transistor parameters mainly we are considering beta, the leakage current IC naught, and VBE voltage. So because of these three transistor parameters or because of the temperature changes, the Q point should not change. For that purpose, what we need? We need what? Stabilization. Okay. And then we will see some details about what is the need of this stabilization. What is the need of stabilization? Because of temperature changes or because of the transistor parameters such as beta, leakage current or VBE voltage, the Q point is getting changed. If the desired Q point is getting changed, what will happen? Again, distorted output will come or the amplification won't happen properly. So we will see in detail. The temperature dependence of collector current IC due to the inherent variations of transistor parameters such as IC naught, beta and VBE. So the collector current is having some dependence on temperature. And why it is happening? Because of temperature, this IC naught, beta and VB values are getting changed. When these values are getting changed, what is happening? The collector current is again changed. Okay. And similarly, individual variations will be there. That is, if the transistor is replaced by another transistor of the same type. For example, we have made a circuit and we've got the desired Q point and the transistor is working well. And because of some reason, the transistor is completely gone or it got damaged. So what we have to do? We have to replace that particular transistor, right? But it is very difficult to obtain two transistors with same beta value. Okay, the beta will be having a range of values, right? So it is very difficult to find two transistors with same beta value. So if because of some reason one transistor is getting damaged, we will replace the transistor, right? When you are replacing the transistor, there will be a change in beta value. So because of that, what will happen? The collector current will change, because you know that the collector current IC is what? It's equal to beta times of IB. And finally, thermal runaway. And this thermal runaway is a very interesting topic. We will see in the next slide. So I can conclude like these are the reasons why we need what? Stabilization. So first of all, temperature dependence of this collector current, and then individual variations. So whenever a transistor is getting replaced, so some variations are happening. That means it is very difficult to obtain two transistors with some same beta value, and because of that again your collector current is varying. And finally, thermal runaway. And because of these three reasons, we are going for what? Stabilization. And now we will see these three reasons. So these three reasons one by one. Okay. So first one is temperature dependence of collector current on transistor parameters IC naught, that means a leakage current, then beta and VBE, the voltage between base and emitter. So this is a total collector current equation of a common emitter amplifier. And here I can have another same expression. Here this IC naught is replaced with beta plus 1 times of IC B naught, or directly we can have this one. That means the collector current IC, the total collector current IC is equal to beta times of IB plus beta plus 1 times of the leakage current. Okay. So this all you have seen in your third unit. So collector current is there, right? Collector current is there, and then you are having beta we will consider, then you will consider the leakage current. Okay, and because of these two parameters, your collector current will change. For example, the leakage current is there, right? If temperature increases, what will happen to leakage current? This leakage current is because of minority charge carriers only, right? So if temperature increases, what will happen? Minority charge carrier generation will be more. So because of that, the leakage current will be more. If leakage current is more, this is what? IC naught is multiplied with beta plus 1 times. It is again what? Getting a bigger value. And because of that, your IC current will increase. Okay, so this is one way the IC current value is changing. And again, the beta is also having temperature dependence. Because of temperature, beta also will change. If beta is changing, what will happen? Again, here beta plus 1 times of IC naught is here, and here beta times of IB is there. Because of that, again your collector current will change. Okay, so we have to ensure that this collector current is not changing even though this beta and IC naught are varying. As per the relation, it is very clear that when beta or your leakage current IC naught, if these two parameters are changing, obviously your collector current also will change. If collector current will change, what will happen? Your Q point will change. Okay, and you know that the Q point should not change, right? So because of that, in order to maintain the Q point at the desired point on the load line, we have to make sure that this collector current IC is not varying even though your beta and IC naught are changing. For that purpose only, we have to apply, or we have to provide what? Stabilization. We have to stabilize this. Okay, even though variations are happening because of change in beta or leakage current, the collector current should not change. For that purpose, we have to provide what? Stabilization. This is one of the reasons why we need stabilization. And then individual variations. Individual variations already we have discussed. Individual variations means what? Replacement of transistor. If a transistor got damaged, already a circuit is there, desired Q point is there, it is working well, but the transistor got damaged, so we have to replace that one. So whenever you are replacing it with a new transistor, there will be some variations for the values of beta and VBE, and because of that, what will happen? Your collector current will be changing. So that also we have to stabilize. It also should not happen to have a proper Q point or the desired Q point always. So when a transistor is replaced by another of the same type, this variation changes the operating point. I told you the reason why, because the beta and VBE will be changed. It is very difficult to find two transistors of same type with exact same values of beta and VBE. And these are again making us to go with what? Stabilization, stabilizing the collector current. And finally, thermal runaway. Okay, so we will see the definition for that. What is the thermal runaway? It is a self-destruction of an unstabilized transistor. So thermal runaway is what? It is a self-destruction of an unstabilized transistor. Okay, the transistor is not stabilized. If the transistor is not stabilized because of this temperature dependence of collector current, what will happen? At one point of time, the transistor will be get destructed by itself. Okay, there is a self-destruction of unstabilized transistor is known as what? Thermal runaway. And we have to see how this is happening. The collector leakage current IC naught is strongly dependent on temperature. We know that. The leakage current is because of what? Minority charge carriers. If temperature increases, what will happen? Minority charge carrier generation will be more. Because of that, your IC naught also will be getting increased. So IC naught or the leakage current, the collector leakage current is having a strong dependency on temperature. Okay. The flow of collector current produces heat within the transistor. That we know that. That's why we have made the collector current, you know that the construction, the collector size is bigger comparing to emitter and base. Why? To have proper heat dissipation. So, okay, so because of this collector current flow, anyway, in the collector side, we will be having heat generation. Okay. And this heat, because of this heat, what will happen? When temperature is more, so when more heat generation is there in the collector side, what will happen? Because of temperature, minority charge carriers will be generated. If the minority charge carriers are more, what will happen? Leakage current will be more. If leakage current is increased, what will happen? Collector current will be more. Again, if collector current is more, what will happen? More and more power dissipation will be there, or heat dissipation will be there. And because of heat dissipation, temperature will be increased. And again, what will happen? Minority charge carriers will be increased. And because of that, leakage current will be increased. and again collector current is increased. It is going as a cycle. I will draw that here. So what I am trying to say is, when collector current is flowing, heat dissipation will be there, right? And because of heat dissipation or heat generation or rise in temperature, minority charge carriers will be generated. If minority charge carriers are generated, what will happen? The leakage current will be more. If leakage current is more, we have seen the relation previously. If leakage current is more, obviously your IC current is also increased. If further again IC current is increased, what will happen? Further heat dissipation will be again increased. And if more heat dissipation is there, what will happen? More minority charge carriers will be generated. Again, it leads to what? Increase in leakage current. And then increment of leakage current will leads to what? Increment of collector current. It is going as a cycle. At one point of time, enormous amount of collector current will be generated. At that time, the BJT will be completely destroyed. Okay, and this is known as what? Thermal runaway. And in order to avoid these kinds of thermal runaway, what we have to do? We have to do stabilization. Okay, we have to stabilize the collector current. Even though temperature is varying, and even though the minority carriers generated, which results in the increment of leakage current, it should not reflect on the collector current. The collector current should be stabilized. Okay, so these are the three reasons why we need this stabilization. So temperature dependence of IC on transistor parameters such as IC naught, beta and VBE, and individual variation, that means replacement of BJTs, and finally to avoid thermal runaway. Thank you.